Hey, what's good, everyone? Welcome to the Passive Income Network podcast. I'm your host, C. Will. And on this podcast, we speak about investments, business, and innovative technologies. And today we'll be focusing on blockchain and cryptocurrency and speaking to business owners that will educate us on what they're working on and what they're building. And we'll talk about the overall crypto landscape. So let's bring our guest on the show. One run. Oh, messing up. Where my oh, there we go. Sorry about that. So
No
this is our
worries.
two guests, Murad from TakaDAO. TakaDAO. How's it going?
Going well. Thank you for
Sure.
having us on, Sewell.
I'm happy to be on the show. Thank you so much for having us, Sewell.
Excellent. Happy to have y'all on. So let's begin. As we've seen in the media recently, Bitcoin has got very close to $100,000 for the first time ever, surpassing its high in about March and April of 73,000. How do y'all feel about that? And you got any thing you like to share about just Bitcoin in general? We'll start with you, Shireen.
Well, I'm happy about it. But for me, Bitcoin has always been about investment. I'm a hodler, so I'm just like, oh yeah, all right. The price, I'm not selling. Even if it goes back down, I'm holding it. So Bitcoin, that's what it means for me.
Mm. Long term, I respect it. What about you, Marat?
Yeah, same thing. So I believe that the underlying technology and what Bitcoin is here to do, and the promise of 2008, having an alternative to the fiat currency and what's happening around the world, the over, as we all know, the over printing of the dollars, making many countries and many people poor every day, has now find an alternative, I would say, to the gold back. And I see that finally institutions are coming on board, and eventually you see also I would say, the commoners also getting into the high-speed train. And I think that we are only seeing the beginning. These things is here to stay and here to grow and solve many problems that we're all facing in the financial traditional trade fight, basically.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. It's always great to when you got family members or they see me, they're like, oh, so how the Bitcoin's doing really well. It's all over the news now, and that's always a good sign that the people are watching and not just about like Dogecoin or some of the meme coins. I'm more like I like the utility and like the Bitcoins and whatnot. But however, meme coins are very popular. I still get calls about those. My mom checks in about Dogecoin every so often.
Hey, tell me, in America, do they believe it's because of Trump, or why did this? It started before the election and it just kept going up. So what's the?
I would say right now, I think most things are going to go towards Trump right now. That's what a lot of the sentiment I'm getting. Um, they they're giving them credit for Tesla going up, of course, with Elon Musk is around over there, but everything's going to be Trump for us for the next at least 6 months, I think, until things calm down. But I don't personally believe everything was because of Trump. Of course, it was already in process. Bitcoin's been going. You got companies like MicroStrategy buying BlackRock. All of those institutions have been piling in, but I think just Trump being a little bit more open to it now did do part of the election pump, but we already seen a lot of adoption happening. But I'm for more adoption regardless who's in office anyway. So before we go into Arbitrum, what's your thoughts on Ethereum adoption and what do you think about, I guess, Ethereum without scaling solutions? What do you got there?
To be honest, the thing with adoption right now, whether it's Bitcoin or ETH, is there's no price stability. So if the thing keeps going up and down the way it is, it's really hard to transact in it, right? And with Ether, particularly, on this is so expensive to send I don't know, $10. Sometimes it costs you $5, and it just depends on the supply and demand. So without the scaling, the layer 2s, it's really, really hard to use. But the layer 2s, on the other hand, they're fun. I mean, we're building on Arbitrum, we're building on, but mainnet really is just too expensive to see mass adoption.
Yeah, makes sense. What about you, Murad?
Yeah, I mean, look, Ethereum, again, it's a useful technology. They have been one of the OGs, I would say, into the layer 1. So many people are building on their network. So, and some of them are happy, unhappy, but they are still the strongest community when it comes to the layer 1. I believe they'll be around for a long, long time still. I don't see people, taking them down, definitely, even though we see great progress with other layer 1, showing, like Solana and whatever. But the reality, they have been around. They have the largest community supporting the network. So this is very difficult to move them away from whatever they do. But as Sharon was mentioning, the cost is becoming too expensive. They better shape up, try to find solution. And I know they are trying to work on to reduce the cost, trying to make the technology even more easier to use and scalable for sure. The reality is that layer 2 a network like I would say Arbitrum that we're using are making it easier for us to still use the technology, underlying technology of Ethereum, and using a cheap way to transact. And that's what the whole promise of blockchain crypto is to make this technology affordable, accessible to everyone. And that's what it should be, is a technology that is centralized and better up the level of the population and the general population in general, as I say. And that should be really, really toward a progress where it's becoming cheaper and cheaper to transact, to make this beautiful technology accessible to everyone and leave nobody behind.
Yeah, I definitely agree that Ethereum, especially as the price rises, it does get out of hand. Like recently, I had some tokens in my MetaMask wallet, just like a few dollars. I just, it's up in there. I wanted to send those out of my wallet to Coinbase, and then the transaction fees were ridiculous. I had to go buy more Ethereum and send it over there. Then at that point, it becomes not even worth it to make transactions. And then if Ethereum starts to rise past its prices right now, it only gets worse. So it doesn't make any sense. So layer 2s, can you both of y'all give a kind of a deeper breakdown into what Arbitrum is, and then educate the audience on some of the like pros and cons about using Arbitrum in particular?
Yeah, if you want to have a test, I'm the wrong person to ask. Let me tell you what my interpretation of why did we go. So the first product that we built was a savings product, right? And number one, we're like, okay, mainnet is way too expensive. If you have to spend money to save money, that's an insane. That will do it. So we're like, okay, we need to go to a layer 2. So we had our pick of layer 2s. So originally I wanted to do Polygon, but then I realized if we did Polygon, people static in order to transact on Polygon. So that's like one more token that you had to have in your wallet in order to do anything, which increases the complexity. It's more cost, it's more bridging, etc. So the thing I liked about Ethereum is that ETH is the native token of the chain, right? So I was like, okay, that's one less token that people have. And this is Arbitrum. Arbitrum ETH is a native token, so it's like one less token that you have to deal with. So this is why we picked Arbitrum. This is how the decision was made. It was just all about the user experience for the end user.
Yeah, it's also a very good tech. Is still affordable actually. So what I like is I like to use technology that help our project, and if the technology is sound, I like to invest also in this technology because I have a first-hand experience in using the product. Not to mention that I think that's the second grant that we get from them, and they are very serious, very bullish in helping the community. So they're helping us out, for example, securing our smart contract with a very generous grant. And then what is interesting about their technology and their product, they're really executing on the and updating everything, on regular basis, which makes you, and my team, the coding team, happy to use the product because they find solution. Versus when you see some layer 2 sometime not updating much, and you see that the performance is lacking and so on and so forth. I don't see this happening on Arbitrum. They're going stronger and stronger. And I really like what they're doing and the support that they are giving to the community.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, makes sense. I think what is important, what you said, Shireen, is that you use ETH rather than some other token, because that right there, I think ETH is still, as y'all mentioned earlier, still the main thing. It's number 2 besides Bitcoin, but in smart contracts, it's number 1 used platform, the biggest amount of users. But yeah, having a layer 2 built with ETH is a smart idea, and I definitely think that's a bullish thing for the community and network. Go straight to Coinbase, you can send it out. You don't have to worry about doing swaps, which most people, I think, it's over most people's head anyways, unless you're really a crypto degen or something like that. So when it comes to Arbitrum, you said there was a grant that y'all received to help you build your platform. Is that something that's like an ongoing thing that they're working with y'all, or is it a one-time deal?
Oh, you want to take this, Morad? Also, Arbitrum Arbitrum Foundation has a grant program, and they the projects apply, and then they pick you, and then they give you a grant based on milestones. So they'll say, okay, what are you guys doing? It sounds good. Or what are your milestones? And then they'll give you a grant. And then the second grant we received was for security audits, which is you cannot imagine, Will. When I saw the prices that the audit companies were quoting us, I was like, we're in the wrong business. We should be doing security audits. I'm talking like we're $250,000, that kind of stuff. So anyway, the Arbitrum grant is incredibly helpful because that is a cost. But at the same time, security is the primary thing for developers, right? For people, anyone building on the blockchain, this is the one thing you cannot be cheap on. So it's really, really helpful, the grant that Arbitrum is giving us.
Yeah. So to add up on that, Arbitrum would look at the type of project. If you're really building something that is useful and make an impact to the community and has some relevance into the ecosystem, okay? And the first product, as Sharon was mentioning, we were doing micro lending platform, which was a peer-to-peer lending platform that helped people borrow with each other's, basically. It's called the Rosca, but we put it on chain. So the Rosca allows 10 people to put money together and make a micro lending. You be first, I'll be second. Every month we are paying the fee, and we were using Ethereum as a collateral. Okay. The interesting thing is that since we are putting collateral on the platform, we were also helping you generate passive income with yield generating using this platform. Platform is still alive, still working well. People can use it. It's TakaDAO. But the interesting things that also Arbitrum was looking at is that how the TakaDAO team was able to build now not only a lending mechanism, but a community-based insurance based on the peer-to-peer principle, which is a pool of people putting their resources together and helping one another in case of an event happening to any of the members. And when they saw the project and white paper and everything, they were fascinated. And of course, that's how we got this grant, and to help us not only support the community, but help all the community around.
Okay, so can you go deep into how does that work? You say insurance project and peer-to-peer. Yeah, can you explain that for me? I haven't had any experience with any insurance products like that. So yeah, break it down.
So I'll start maybe, and then maybe Sharon will jump on. So basically, we go back to the origin of insurance. The way insurance was built back then by Deloitte, it was a bunch of people working in the freight industry, boating industry. They would go and travel the world and get spices and everything, bring them back to the UK. But eventually, if the boat was overloaded, what happened is that they will dump some of the load in the sea in order to keep the rest of the cargaison going. So they arrange themselves to auto-insure one another and say, if I dump your goods and when I arrive in the UK, we all put resources together and whomever lost his stuff will be guaranteed by the merchant. Okay? And then there were no middlemen, there were nobody, they were just making this happen between themselves, making sure that everybody is protected regardless. So what we did, of course, the evolution of insurance changed completely when you had a profit-seeking entity that comes in and now regulate everything and does pretty much whatever they want, making sure that you lose at the end of the day. So it's either them, now the profit-seeking entity, versus you, the one who's going to lose it all. And, the best way to get these things going in today's insurance businesses is they make sure that they don't pay claim, and as we all know.
Yes.
So we say this is unsustainable. This is something that has to stop, and you need to go back to the way insurance was made. So going back to the mutual system where people can put their money together in order to insure one another, and on the fund, removing the middleman in the middle. So now if there is no profit-seeking element in the play, everybody is winning, and the fund is owned by the participant themselves. And guess what? The only time in the history that we could do that is by using blockchain technology, smart contract, transparency, that every single member, whatever how large it is, can see on chain and see live what's happening in order to protect one another. And that's what we build. So Sharon, can you maybe add up into more details if I miss something?
Yeah, so that pivotal moment that he was talking about when insurance went from being a mutual and a way to help each other to becoming a profit-seeking kind of industry, that is when they actuarial sciences. Because all of a sudden they realize, hey, there's a way to bet and to play the numbers, and then we can still come up on top, right? So that's when the profit seekers, they came in, they're like, we understand how these numbers work. People don't. And so we have an advantage here, right? So we have this alpha here that we can take advantage of. And all of a sudden, that's when the industry became a for-profit industry. Now, having said that, the insurance industry is a $9 trillion industry annually. And this is just revenue. This is not even like the asset own and the amount of money they make on investments, right? $9 trillion, that's 3 times cap of crypto, okay? And it's an oligopoly is whatever you call it. And why? It's because they understand how to play with the numbers. So what we do at TakaDAO, actually do the underwriting, we do the actuarial bit, we create algorithm, and we let people use it. So we built that protocol with the algorithm, with the risk management, with the pay in, pay out, with the control of the city of the is all custody by smart contracts. And we say, here, you guys, now you can self-insure. And that's what we do.
Okay. So what?
One more thing that, so the fund is exciting. Why? Because the money that is used to pay claim will go and pay claim. And we pay claim usually in the best fashion, meaning making sure that you get a very good payout, okay? And in a fast way, using wallet, cross-border and everything. But the exciting part of that, if there is money left after paying the claim, guess what? The money goes back to each participant. So so every participant will get whatever is left from this amount. And then, of course, it's what is exciting is that we can reinvest part of that fund in order to generate some yield that makes even a better protection and better return for each member. Yeah.
Okay, 2 things. Can you give me some examples of different products? Because here in the US, all I really have experience was car insurance, some type of medical insurance, and then housing and mortgage and things of that nature. So yeah, what kind of products are y'all talking about here? And then how does the yield part work again with earning a yield after a payout? Whoever want to take that one.
Oh, me? Okay, yeah. So the first one that we've launched, the first product is called the Life DAO, and this is a life insurance alternative. Now, we're very careful with our words because it's very unlike insurance, because an insurance company essentially is betting and it's taking this side of the bet. I'm taking this risk. What we're doing, so everybody is taking the risk together, and that makes the DAO, so it's the Life DAO because it is a DAO that's owned by its community, non-profit. All right. So our TakaDAO ourselves, we provide the tech and we are a for-profit company, but the DAO itself is non-profit. It's just people trying to help people. So that's the first to do. Now, the other one that we are planning to launch is medical insurance. Did you know that more than half of no medical insurance? This is like a huge pain point, and from we wanted to build this thing to make it so that people can get insured, because shockingly, insurance companies don't go where it's not profitable, right? So if you have a lower income country, they're in the market because they don't make any money. It's really that simple. So we want this to be inclusive. So one of the things that we have is we want to do emergency medical insurance. That's when money together, and then if something happens, there's a payout, and this is a cash payout. So we're not working with medical give you cash and you go and you pay your bill. So these are the kinds of, so we're talking about real world insurance. We're protecting what is meaning in real life, and it's like just exists in the crypto world.
Yeah, and then you have also in the global south crop filling for the farmers, farmers putting their money together in order to be insured in case of adversity of weather condition. Okay, what we see a lot is like the Uber driver in the world. The car is is in a good condition, no worries. But imagine you have a second-hand car and you have an engine failure. So you can ensure, the community can come together to ensure the condition of the engine, I mean the car failure of the engine, or the transmission. That happens a lot if it's a second-hand car, and that can help. Why it helps? Because your car becomes your bread and butter. If your car is broken, okay, you need to get it fixed as soon as possible, and no insurance will cover that risk. Second, you have a loss of income. If you're not driving, you're not making money. And so this community of Uber driver can join together and help one another in case of these things happening. And of course, having compensation is always welcome. Yeah.
Okay. So for the user, that oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, there's a bit of a lag. So if I cut you off, I apologize. I want to say that what we're building is entirely decentralized. We build the algorithms, but we don't mess with it. So once it's deployed on the smart contract, it goes out there. We cannot touch it. We cannot change it without the will of the DAO. So in case the DAO wants to change something, unless it's a security hack, in which case there are like emergency interaction. In case the DAO says, well, we feel that we can take on more risk, that's when we go and test. Other than that, we don't touch it. And the same thing with claims, right? So for life insurance, or for the life insurance DAO, do is we provide a platform for documentation, and then the claims are actually verified by the members themselves in a double-blind process. So there's like 8 or 12 members who do the verification work, and each of them does a different piece of the work, and then they come together and based on yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, we decide whether, they decide whether or not to approve or deny the claim. And they don't know who won. That is to prevent collusion. And then the results are published on chain. So it's entirely transparent. So if you think about this is radical. Because if you go to an insurance company today and you ask them, how does your claim process work? They'll give you the runaround and they'll never directly answer the question. And at the end, you have an hour talking to them and you have still no idea how to file a claim. But this is different. And this is all about the community.
Okay. I like that. So I would say DAOs, I remember, were really hot in like 2021. And then I feel like from my experience, I haven't heard much about them. So it's kind of refreshing to know that they're still going, they're still growing and doing what they're supposed to do. And then the community members are involved. When it comes to a claim, is the payout in like a stable coin, or like how does that process work?
Yeah, so the entire thing is on a stable coin. So we hope that one day Bitcoin, Ether, and those sort of blue chip will become stable enough where they can be the foundation. Today, it still needs to be a stable coin, unfortunately, because there's too much fluctuation. So pay-in is out is also in stable coin.
Yeah, and I'm honestly, my favorite are stable coins because exactly what you said, the fluctuations. I couldn't imagine trying to buy something in Bitcoin, like the story, the guy who bought the pizzas, 12, 13 years ago, and then he missed out on all of this right now, and he eat his pizza 10 years ago. So that's
I know.
crazy. And then, of course,
He will never eat
spending
pizza
it.
again.
Oh no! Like I'm almost done with pizza because of that. But then I couldn't also imagine like waiting, for 10 minutes trying to buy something at the store also for your Bitcoin or Ethereum. So I'm definitely bullish on other blockchains and layer twos for Ethereum. Excuse me. And I think that stable coins for payment processing is going to be the next wave. And I think that's the push that will make the rest of the mass adoption happen. So let's pivot a little bit towards more of that. So in the U.S., as we mentioned, like Donald Trump's the president here, so people are thinking that he wants to change regulation. There's an announcement that Gary Gensler, the chair of the SEC, is now resigning, and I think that is some of the bullish news that we ever had in the United States for crypto, because he's the guy that's been blocking and calling everything a security. And then I know Donald Trump, he sells NFTs. He's dropped a DeFi platform, a token. All of this has happened before he got elected. So I'm thinking things should change. How is regulation in Dubai and Riyadh? I have been to Dubai, amazing place. I went to an event out there, and I see that there was a lot of support for crypto. So how's the regulation in those cities and areas, countries?
Yeah, so Dubai has been now tabbed as the crypto city in the world. As you can imagine, you have the largest amount of VC, crypto VC project coming out of Dubai after whatever happened in Singapore, when Singapore was leading in terms of the crypto scene. It's still very hot in Singapore, but the regulator has been kind of burned a little bit with some of those projects that fell, Terra Luna and all these things.
Ooh,
The
yeah.
reality is that in Dubai, it's they kind of surf on I would say, the slowdown from the Southeast Asian market into capitalizing into an haven for people who want to set up office and set up businesses. So not only that, there's a lot of new, I would say, millionaire, billionaire looking to find the best place for them to enjoy their time, their life, and eventually pay as little taxes as possible. And Dubai offered this kind of leisure and nice places to enable people to have a second home, I would say, and a residence that allow you to pay tax only in Dubai. Of course, the regulators in Dubai are very bullish. They issue so many law that help regulate a real world asset. You see the largest exchanges actually setting up shop there as well. So you have maybe 20 exchanges now setting up shop there. And then you see there's a competition with different Emirates issuing different law to, so you have the Emirates of Abu Dhabi, you have the Emirate of Dubai, and you have the Emirate of Ras Al Khaimah as well, pushing more and more, I would say, hands off on the crypto space. So yeah, I mean, they even have VARA now. VARA is the regulator that enable crypto project to exist and so on and so forth. So yes, Dubai is really the hot place when it comes to crypto. Now we don't know what's going to be next, and who else are going to kind of open up, because it's good to have a nice jurisdiction like Dubai allowing you to do so many things, but still outside of this ecosystem, it's very difficult to see a big push when you see that still moderation is a key terms when it comes to Singapore Hong Kong is a little bit taking another leap as well, but we don't know what's going to happen next year. Sharon, you want to add something on that level?
So I want to say Saudi Arabia is not Dubai. Riyadh and very, very different. Both, I mean, they're neighboring countries, obviously, but there's a very different business environment. There's a very, very different population. A lot, there's a significant difference between the two countries. Now, when it comes to Saudi Arabia, a lot of people, but they are listed in the top 10 crypto adoption countries around the world. So there are numbers between 20 to 25% of Saudis own cryptocurrency, right? And this is up there with Dubai and up there with countries. Now, the is surprising for many people. I think this was Binance stats, is that it has the higher ticket size. So there are a lot of whales, right? So they in the GCC, they have the highest trading volume because they have the highest. Right? So there is a lot of action here in Saudi. But with the regulators here, they're taking the let's. So Dubai is always the kind of petri dish country. Saudi is about 3 to 4 times the size in terms of population as here in terms of land. So they're like, let's see what they're doing over there, and then we're gonna do our thing when the time is right. However, and it seems like the time is right now because they have just introduced CBDCs. They have a partnership with Hong Kong and some other countries. So now introduce NEOM, where there's a talk of having the special economic zone, where they're going to be more permissive experimentation of these types of digital assets, etc. Plus, they're investing. So the thing about Saudi Arabia, everybody is coming here, and they're coming here for a reason, because when the Saudis do something, they take out their checkbook and they do it together with you. So in the UAE is very much come bring your money, invest in our country, we'll let you do whatever you want. In Saudi is, we don't let you do anything that whatever you want, but we will. But if you come and do something we want, we'll pay for it. So lots of people are coming here. They come here to raise money, and their movement, especially in the Web3. So you have Animoca Brands. They were the first big brand. I think they raised something like 50 million from NEOM. You have now Outlier Ventures, number one Web3. What is that accelerator in the world here now? They just launched a couple of weeks ago. And you have CHAINLINK, who's our partner. They're also coming regularly. And you have Forbes Web3. They just came. We hosted a private dinner with them for all the movers and shakers. We have brands coming here now. And they just the on-chain stats alone, it sells Riyadh. So I want to say that Riyadh, Dubai, very different thing. Riyadh, you have actual adoption, I think, from the population standpoint, going from bottoms up, and in Dubai, it's a different story.
Well, that's some great insights. That's good, because it seems like when my experience in Dubai too, it was amazing. I was like, man, it's all those different economic zones, and then when I come back to the U.S., you feel really held back, especially for crypto. And there's just a lot of people don't seem to not understand, and then a lot of people that have launched a business here had to go out to Bahamas, Cayman Islands, or something like that. But we all seen what happened with FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried. So he really made going to one of those island places really sketchy. So I think places like Dubai is really needed, so they can show an example to the rest of the world what to do with this space. So big shout out to everybody over there. So as we slowly start to close out, can you mention your part or talk about your partnership with CHAINLINK, and then anything else you would like to share?
Big echo. So we are part of we were invited to be part of the CHAINLINK build pretty exclusive program. There are about 100 startups in it right now, and I think they're slowing down on taking more. And ostensibly, CHAINLINK was like, you guys are a great startup, great product in the part of the world, Saudi Arabia, that we want to enter. So they want to come in and they want to enter Saudi aggressively. So they provide all that support. Now, on the other hand, what we're doing here is for them, right, to make the right intros. And when I say Murad knows everyone in Saudi. I mean it. He knows everyone. So we try to make the right intros, connect them to the players in the market, the ecosystem, and a friendly face, right? Because when the regulations, so these guys are really smart. When the regulations come down, they know they're known already. They're going to be the first ones to benefit. So that's Chainlink. We have partnerships with also Forbes Web3, who they're also great. So shout out to Mani and Taha from Forbes Web3, and they want to do lots. Go ahead.
Yeah, for the Forbes Web3, what is exciting, they are trying to build the largest event in the world. They are bringing, the big brands. They also partner with us, and I'm part of the legacy membership as well. And they try to really democratize the crypto space, the crypto world. Trying to bring a Web 2.5, Web 2 project into the Web3 world, bringing the legacy brand and stuff like that, which is very exciting. Other partnership that we have is Alliance, which is USDC Alliance, who support us as well. Is also a small network where, because we're using USDC in our product, they like what we're doing and they're like, how can we support? They're great partners. Of course, Arbitrum. And last but not least, RIYADH is happening in 2 weeks. Next week is also bringing a lot of eyeball of big brands in the crypto space to understand what the needs for the kingdom, and that's why we're here. And TakaDAO is also a sponsor, a small sponsor into the event, and we're happy to be there.
That sounds amazing. So I'm bullish for Saudi Arabia as well. So that sounds cool. I need to go there one of these days. So can you throw out your website and any links that you would like for people to research or look up to find more about y'all company?
So I'm just going to say that we just launched a couple of days ago, okay? And the fund, the people who are joining the membership is increasing daily, okay? And of course, it's a very, the entry level to get protected among the members is very cheap. It's only $25 a year. Okay, it's not even $2 a month to be part of that community support. And the payout are quite generous. And we have also what we call a Pioneers membership. Pioneers actually are the earlier believer, early comers, and they pay $250 a year, but they get the piece of us. They get the piece of the LiveDAO, where they can literally share into the revenue. So we are giving part of the revenue to those guys. Is, if you may want to say, a pre-token launch, if you want to look at it this way. Okay. And you can find us at the LiveDAO, which is live now. THELIFE DAO.io. And of course, happy to entertain anyone. The team is ready to welcome you guys. And what is important is to protect one another in the most generous and efficient way.
Excellent. Shireen, anything for you before we close out?
And also, yeah, so you are most welcome in Riyadh. I hope you come, and when you do come, you're our guest, so please do visit us. I know lots of people like to come to watch boxing and all kinds that they have here. So yeah.
Excellent. Well, appreciate y'all. If you stay a moment backstage, I'm gonna do my closeout. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
All right, y'all. That was a great podcast interview. Very informative about Arbitrum, what's happening in Dubai, Riyadh, and what's going on with TakaDAO. So make sure y'all go check them out. I'll put all the links in the description so y'all can do more research, get information. Make sure y'all leave any comments or any questions that you have a follow-up, put them in the chat below. And I thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next show. Peace. Passive income, gold in my dental. Thank God for my mental. Investor fundamentals, told my